rebellion against the Council is termination. But because of your heroic services as a warrior, you are exiled to the primitive planet Earth, there to dwell in human form until you learn to restrain your hostility. This control unit will monitor you.
Hostility? No, not good.
The sentence is passed.
Okay, camera on. Lights active. Water at the ready. Microphone working. Yep, microphone set. Audio seems okay. Ozzy on the laptop. Artwork is ready to... Ozzy Arcane, why are you on my laptop?
Waiting forever for you to finally get back to reviewing. I've had this setup programmed into the laptop docking station for a long time now.
I've been busy. And you still haven't answered my question.
Look, I know you're not the most interactive of the producers on the site, and you had issues with the typical reviewer crossover system we reviewers use.
You and your guys punch and shoot each other, even or toss each other bad media. Yeah, I can do without that, especially the shooting part.
Well, consider this a compromise. I had Professor Evilsworth finally earn his keep and sneak into your studio during one of your convention trips and connected the docking station with a modified crossover system that doesn't involve physical interaction.
Come again?
Nobody can shoot or punch you unless they're in the room with you, and he threw in a few other features because he was bored, which might help with cameos and crossovers. It's all in the README file he claimed he added to your document folder. Seems like a fair trade to you?
Well, I guess. I'm really going to push into doing these. Little support can't be a bad thing. They can't kill or torture me.
Good. I have a gaming backlog to deal with. Good luck with the review.
You know, I've always wondered why these cameos start and end on static. I mean, this is a digital format. But that's the internet for you. It allows you to communicate over vast distances, and I've partly been using it in the vain hope of finding like-minded people. Still, it's amazing when something you don't think anybody else remembers suddenly pops up. For example, let's see here. Somewhere. Pac-Man. Ah, here we go. Do you know who this guy is? I used to draw this character all the time as a kid, which shouldn't be surprising. Look how easy he is to draw. But how many of you know where he came from? He comes from... His name is Control. No. This comes from a little show called Hard Time on Planet Earth. Created by Jim and John Thomas, who admittedly haven't the best movie track record. Case in point. Hard Time follows an alien played by Martin Coe, who tries to adjust to life on Earth as part of his punishment. Voice actor Danny Mann was the voice of Control, whose job it was to keep him in line and report his progress to the council, to see if he's reformed. It's like having Twilight Sparkle as your jailer, only not as cute. The show aired on CBS as a midsummer replacement and didn't receive a lot of critical praise, including people who made swipes at the fact it was produced by Touchstone and distributed by Buena Vista, companies owned by Disney. I don't know why that matters. It's not like Disney doesn't produce quality entertainment or something. It also didn't do too well in the ratings and never went past 13 episodes. But did it deserve the scorn? Was America just not ready for a light-hearted, vaguely sci-fi action show? Why didn't the show develop the following of Street Hawk, a show that also didn't last past the mid-season, but I can't find on DVD. I had to find these clips on YouTube. Well, I think the best way to start is to look at the pilot and see if it's a hidden gem or a lump of coal best left forgotten. It was a dark and stormy night. Sorry, writer's instinct. Within the glowy orb thing, 3 light show effects are discussing their prisoner. The green one wants to wipe him out, but the purple one reminds him that he's a war hero and they made him this way. I would assume genetic manipulation. It's always genetic manipulation. But the blue one is in charge and informs our unnamed alien that his sentence is to be turned into a human and pretty much perform community service, with a control unit as parole officer. I'm guessing community service on planet Earth didn't have as cool a ring. Then he's dropped naked into a field and left for dead. Nice job, guys. Oh, and you're welcome, ladies. Apparently his life force is too powerful for his human form because... reasons. While he can smash a cactus, it gets its revenge.
Actually demonstrated. An electrochemical multiphasic neuron response these creatures call pain. Tell me, what's it like?
So these aliens have no concept of pain? Or is he just a masochist? Control is less than happy that this is his first assignment, especially with all the crimes this guy's guilty of.
Hero you may have been, but things have certainly changed. Clashes with the authorities. Brawling in the pleasure centers. An entire settlement destroyed.
Pleasure centers. You have to love how the Family Hour hides the concept of brothels in sci-fi shows. Mr. Alien isn't up to speed on our Earth culture, and really neither is Control. In other words, aliens just dropped a highly volatile warrior who is far stronger than most, if not all, humans onto our planet, completely unaware of anything except our language, and they wanted to set up shop in a major metropolis to perform good deeds against his will. What's Alien for? What did we ever do to you? Death Machine and Control find a gas station where our protagonist finds clothes. Sorry, ladies. And Control introduces him to television as a doorway to our culture. Just keep him away from reality TV or we're all doomed. Control heads off to find a place to stay in LA, God help them, warning his charge not to get into trouble. So naturally, he immediately gets into trouble when the cops show up, using just great lines as,
I didn't do it. You gotta believe me. I'm innocent. You'll never take me alive. Cover. Don't shoot. I surrender.
our hero is forced to escape in a truck in the garage, leaving behind a crystal that maintains his life energy that I don't remember ever coming up in the series. Control, meanwhile, tries to meet the locals. And by locals, I mean using a traffic light as a real estate agent. This is Jesse Guides on Earth, folks. Might be better off with the cops. Or at least it would be better than being lost. Back at the garage, Control rescues the crystal from the cops, while our focus shifts to Karen here. She's a geologist investigating something. Not really made clear, but, well, this is California, earthquake central. Her Jeep slips and threatens to go over a cliff, at least a hill, or you don't want to roll down an old Jeep. But here comes her rescuer, way over the speed limit. He gives Karen time to get out of the Jeep, but due to his lost crystal, it's too weak to pull it up. Usually he can probably bench press the darn thing. Jesse eventually comes to after...
Sorry what them Apaches done to your husband, ma'am. You better gather up your children and your belongings and come with us to Fort Lewis. What happened?
You passed out. You were delirious. You said some very strange things.
You don't know the half of it, lady. She fails to get him to see a doctor, but does show him how to get to L.A. She also gives him her phone number. Lucky guy.
I'm sorry you have to be so ugly.
Okay, just how screwed up is your planet? I'd go star hopping with her any day, and I don't even know what that means. So Jesse's trying to find Control, and Control's trying to find Jesse. Would you believe this show isn't a comedy? It has a lot of comedic moments, but it's otherwise a lighthearted action show. So far the setup is good. But is Jesse the only one lost? So we've been introduced to our cast. An alien prisoner whose crimes don't seem to match the punishment. A flying eyeball and a well-meaning cop and a cute girl. We have our dominoes. Let's see how they fall. Ah, yes, the LA Aqueduct, where every fictional car chase ends up, even if the story is set in New Jersey. Hold it! This is a car chase on CBS in the 80s. Aren't you forgetting something? That's more like it. Soon the police had Jesse trapped on a bridge, not knowing he's dying without his crystal. That mention is never brought up again on the show. They try to grab the weakened Jesse, but he's still strong enough to toss them aside. He's still too weak to stabilize himself and falls over the side. Hanging off the edge, Control finally finds him.
The crystal.
Have you any idea of the trouble you've put me through? What a mess you've made of this entire situation?
Damn you. The crystal.
Directive number 1. A correctional unit shall never, under any circumstances, intercede with the activities of a correctional subject. Penalty? Immediate discorporation. I am forbidden to intercede.
Hey, Control, if he dies, you fail at your job.
If I die, you will be terminated. Finished.
And it's all your fault. I'll be lucky to wind up tending an antimatter sunpool in Cracker 11.
With a bit of compromise, Jesse finally gets the crystal. Okay, wait. In Control's defense, they did say that he wasn't allowed to help him in any way, but this is kind of ridiculous. That doesn't stop yet another argument about their situation, and Control reminds Jesse that he has to help people before taking off again. What does he do when he's not hanging around Jesse, I wonder? Well, Jesse gets an introduction to LA on his own. Both Karen and Jesse catch a news report of the accident, and oddly nobody standing right next to him notices. So he steals himself to new clothes. You know, the man with no name would have worked before he was given a name. Jesse gives Karen a call because he needs a friend, and after some miscommunication, they arrange a meeting. Meanwhile, a robbery happens, and guess who's nearby to stop it? And he does it in Jesse style.
That would be a big mistake.
Let's get out of here. Hey, you can't do that!
You just did.
My God, what is he doing?
Run him down! Run him down!
Now just needs to learn not to smash stuff while stopping people from smashing stuff. Jesse makes the mistake of returning to the store with cops around, including the detective that's been chasing him the whole episode. And Karen makes the mistake of calling out his name out with a lot of cops around. Luckily, Control risks helping again, and Jesse makes his escape.
Tough one to figure out, huh, Cap? That thing at the jewelry store. Was that weird or what?
Yeah, too weird. A lot of things don't make sense, Mikey. This guy, he's not your average psycho.
He's running from something, Captain.
I don't think this guy knows what he's running from. I tell you one thing. I don't think we've seen the last of this one.
No, but we've seen the last of you two. Seriously, they're not in this series, and neither is Karen. The pilot ends with Jesse and Control having a talk about their altered situation.
But by helping you, I've become a prisoner too. Even if you don't want my help, we're stuck with each other. Saving you is my only hope. Perhaps if I succeed, you succeed, and I can throw myself at the mercy of the High Council.
I can't do it. I can't change who I am.
So then you can never go back. But what about your vow to return home? Your family? What about them? Think about it. You know, my friend, if you want to return, you'll have to prove to the council that you have truly changed.
How can I do that?
By putting aside that headstrong independence of yours. Is that so bad? Despite their seeming insanity, these creatures may have much to teach you. In a way, you have already helped some of them.
I don't know what came over me.
It's simple. You're becoming like them, beginning to feel human emotions. And that I can put in my report, which, by the way, is overdue.
And Control heads off to file his first report, which I recall is how every episode ended. So that's Hard Time on Planet Earth. And how's it stack up? Well, I see a lot of potential in this show, but while it succeeded in being what it wanted, it could have been a bit more without losing that. According to Control, this show is about Jesse having to help people. That doesn't have to involve crime fighting or dealing with land grabs or anything, but going over the description and recalling old memories, a lot of the episodes seemed about hijinks with Jesse in Control more than anything else. There are episodes that also look like someone wanted to add more to the show, like a story where they try to tell Jesse was framed. And I wonder if that description was off because it doesn't match what's set up in the pilot. This is community service from the way they talk. He's not a murderer or anything. Another episode has a bounty hunter coming after him, but they meet up during speed dating. If the show is about Jesse learning to help humans, that would be fine. But this is about Jesse helping humans, and there aren't a lot of episodes about that. One more episode of interest has our characters finding another guy serving a hard time with a control unit of his own. These sound like interesting plots to someone like me, but to most people, probably not. I think they should have kept Karen on the show. I would wait for her to discover the truth about Jesse, if ever, but there's some comedy there. At the same time, Jesse could learn more about humanity with a proper guide. The cops I'm neutral on, maybe recurring characters for episodes where Jesse deals with bad guys, which, again, doesn't have to be every episode. It really makes it sound like another one of those shows where the hero travels around doing things, helping people, sometimes stopping bad guys. You know, shows like Route 66, The Pretender, The Incredible Hulk. But the whole show is set in LA, and it seems to be more wacky hijinks with two guys who know nothing about planet Earth. At the time, Jesse takes money from an ATM without knowing what it is or what he's doing is wrong, and then tries to return it. There's the kid who takes a damage control from the arcade. It just feels unfocused. On the one hand, there's this action sci-fi show. On the other hand, it's wacky comedy hijinks, and they just don't mix very well. But, you know, that said, I see why it didn't get into our collective memories. The pilot showed a lot more potential that it didn't quite hit. But, you know, it's still fun in its own right. They are fun characters. You do get to enjoy Jesse's antics. And, well, I still enjoyed watching it, and I want to go back and watch these old episodes. Still, if Karen and stayed involved, even in a recurring role, yeah, I'd be happy. After all, it's good to make friends in this life. Maybe this communication thing is a better idea than I think. You know, as long as they can't assault me from another part of the planet and stuff.
Later tonight, Terra Nova goes undercover to get a look at the seedy side of the record biz. Debbie Harry and Glenn Fry guest star on the first of a 7-part Wise Guy. But first, Equalizer turns lawyer when he defends a friend on a life or death charge of treason. The Equalizer, next.